The ticket came in a dream. No address. No price. Just one word printed on textured silver. Admit yourself. Ella woke with the stub still clutched in her hand. By midday, she found herself standing before an old theater at the end of a street she didn't remember walking down. The marquee above flickered with shifting titles, none of them quite legible. The doors were already open. She stepped inside. The air was warm and familiar, popcorn and velvet and something else, anticipation. The lobby stretched farther than it should have. No staff. No noise. Just rows of old movie posters, each one with her face in it, but always slightly different. In one, she wore a pilot's uniform. In another, a paint-streaked apron. In one, she held a child's hand. In another, she walked alone beneath a blood-red sky. She passed into the main auditorium. Only one seat was lit. Saturday. The screen flickered. The first reel began. She watched herself step onto a stage in Vienna. A cello rested between her knees. The spotlight caught her profile just as she began to play. The music curled through the room like mist. The audience sat breathless. She'd quit cello at 13. She watched the girl who didn't. Watched her rise, fall, rise again. She whispered, "She's beautiful." The lights dimmed. The next reel rolled. This time Ella wore hiking boots. Her skin was sundark. She laughed loudly in a crowded campsite near Patagonia. A notebook sat open beside her, filled with sketches and stories. In this life, she never went to university. She wandered. She learned names of clouds, danced with strangers, slept under endless skies. Ella felt her chest tighten. Could I have been that free? She asked. No one answered. The screen changed again. Now she was older, married, her hair streaked with gray, a kitchen table, a mug of tea, children's drawings taped to the fridge. She listened to someone speak just outside the frame, nodding with a softness in her eyes Ella didn't recognize. Is this love? She whispered. Then came a reel where she never left her hometown. She worked in a bookstore. The rhythm of routine shaped her life like gentle tides. She wasn't famous. She wasn't loud. But every person who entered the shop left with more than a book. Ella wiped her eyes. She watched herself as a scientist, a farmer, a playwright in a war zone, a midwife in a mountain village. Each version wore her smile. Each carried her questions. One film startled her. In it she was cruel, sharp-tongued, isolated, brilliant but alone. She turned away. But watched anyway. Because even the unlived truths carried truth. After what felt like hours, or years, the reels slowed. The final film began. This time, the Ella on screen sat in a dark theater, watching. She turned. Looked straight into the audience. Straight at her. And said, "Every story you saw was true. Not because they happened, but because they could. You hold them all. You always have." The screen dimmed. A quiet filled the space that wasn't silence. It was fullness. A light came on beside the exit. As Ella stood, a voice behind her whispered, "Which one will you begin writing now?" She turned. But the theater was empty. She walked back into the daylight. The ticket in her hand had vanished. But in her pocket, she found a torn strip of film. Blank. Waiting. She smiled. "Thank you for showing me that none of it is wasted. Even the paths I never walked live on in the steps I take today."